Hey everybody, it's Joel from the Fun Pimps, and here we are with Alpha 16 Q&A with Mad Mole, Volume 11. Jax Teller, hey buddy, how's it going? After seeing the new house in the last preview video, I had an idea for a block for those of us that like to build underground. Storm doors, they could cover a 2 to 3 block long gap when making an underground entrance, sort of like the current metal garage door. So, yeah, that'd probably be pretty cool. Basically, a bigger hatch. So yeah, I'm down for that. Just a matter of time scheduling it. The Benster, Mad Mole. I love the new shape mechanics and paint tool. Although I'm sad that they're not going to make the A16 cut. Could we please get another option on the radial menu for the paint tool to paint all faces of a block and not just the target face? Alternatively, you could leave the menu as is and press shift to paint all faces. Yeah, actually, we talked about that. We're definitely putting that in as a dev feature. Not sure if we're going to do that in the game. I mean, you can't see those faces inside. So, if we're kind of, it's torn a little bit about, well, if you're not painting inside, why would it be painted? But, I don't know. We haven't really decided one way or another, but once the feature's done for creative mode, it wouldn't be too tough to implement it. And I think it would probably be okay to do it. So, I mean, it's just a matter of priorities and if we get time to do that. But it's probably a pretty good idea I'd like to see. Yo, Joe Schmo, new jumping zombie type. There's been talk for a while about making it possible for zombies to jump over a 2 to 4 block gap. What about making a special tall, lanky, feral mutant zombie with super long arms that runs on all fours with back legs crossing in front like a lion or giraffe that could span the gaps? Yeah, that would be pretty cool. I think vultures are going to be a big game changer. Animations, I saw some of them come through the other day, so I think it's those could probably cause some problem. But yeah, maybe running zombies could, feral zombies in general ought to have this ability that you're talking about. I think we've already got them. Most of them are done. They've got the glowing eyed versions, and they run and they have more health and do more damage. So that ought to be another inherent ability, I think, is that they can run and jump over block or gaps or whatever. So we'll see though. I mean, I don't know. It's easy to dream up cool ideas and a lot harder to implement them in a way that actually looks cool and is convincing and reliable and minimal bugs. So survival, how's it going, buddy? Car wrecks. I personally think the car wrecks could use some more variety. How about police cars and army trucks? The big problem with those entities like that is they just eat up, texture space, and that could be another weapon or useful item. So it's a little touchy on that. We don't have any real texture streaming, or unload it. Unity kind of does it, but that's what those hitches are you guys get to see and complain about. So it'd be great to get more variety, but at the same time, we've got to get some texture management code implemented before we can really do anything like that. Match like carbine, like a musket. We want more stuff. It's just, not bloating the texture memory so much that, you have to have a huge graphics card to play the game, or have it, beat down so bad on the low end versions that it just looks like trash. So, it's a balance, but yeah, we're all for it. Strupping it, forgot how to pronounce it, and again. I'm back. Austria this time, TFP and Mad Mole rules. Thanks, buddy. Will we see a metal version of the stone axe? Because the hammer doesn't destroy things as good as the stone axe. Also, it feels strange having the same barbaric fast crafted tool the whole game, maybe a camping axe, hammer on one side, axe on the other. I'll be back. That's right, you're the Austrian dude. I need to get the Arnold game face on before I try to do any more Arnold impressions. So I can do it, but you know, kind of early in the day for me, and yeah. So anyway, cool. Well, my thoughts on that are I don't think we're gonna have anything like that. I mean, there's probably going to be some changes coming that might reflect what you're wanting. But I mean, currently you can use a sledgehammer to destroy stuff, and you know, the fire axe is mainly good for chopping wood. I don't really use a stone axe. I'll either use a pick for breaking in, and I'll use a fire axe for breaking into wood stuff. So I don't really use a stone axe. I just get rid of it. Gloomy MP, camera, artwork, and more. Hey, Matt Mel, I have a question for you regarding a fun way to share exploration, adventure, and liven up a living room. What do you think about introducing a camera where a player could take pictures of scenery, zombies, their builds, etc.? From here, they could find either a dedicated POI, like a 1-hour photo, or just some developing chemicals or laser printer to print the photos off. From here, they could craft a frame. Yeah, I mean, I think Arc lets you do that. I've never used that. You know, I don't know. It's we would have to come up with something. I think Rust has where you know that you can make a paint on a sign, and then basically those pixels are downloaded from the server when you get close. And we'd have to implement a special sign tech like that. It's a lot of, you know, it's a big framework thing, all for something kind of little. So probably not. I'm not going to say we'll never do that, but at the moment we've got, you know, way bigger fish to fry. The Solaria, same Admiral, I've seen in your videos that you were bringing in at least one mutated super zombie type, and I love the concept. I was wondering if in the later builds, if some kind of non-human zombie mutation could be brought in to air and sea as well. I know you mentioned buzzards, but I would love fighting something like that flying zombie thing in the new Resident Evil trailer, and large mutated fish creature would make underwater activities very exciting. Probably. I'm just going to say probably. I don't want to give up any spoilers at this point, but I think you'll be happy with what's coming. Jester 2189, weapon gear. Hey, Mad Mole, just wondering if there's any talk on weapon attachments. No, there's no talk on weapon attachments right now. We're still kind of focused on we want to get legendary items in the game, and that's going to be a big game changer as to, you know, how you go about improving your weapon rather than attachments. So it's probably going to provide you the gameplay hooks you want without doing all these physical attachments that you can see on the gun, which is a big pain in the butt to do those, because they require a lot of art, a lot of code, and a 3D view model and everything. So it's just kind of like, there's better ways to get all the bang for the buck we want without having to do attachments. So anyway, that's that. The Dank Engine, lootable vehicles. Hey man, seriously, super pumped for the Behemoth messing up my shit. It's going to be awesome. And as a Unity developer myself, I'm genuinely amazed with what you guys have built. One of the best games out. Now to the question. I keep thinking that there needs to be emergency vehicles around, police cars, ambulances, just like the sedans. But instead of generic loot, it's more specialized, like weapon parts in a cop car and meds in the ambulances. Is this something that's been talked about? Yeah, I think I already kind of covered that. You know, making a special, you know, vehicle is going to eat up a big chunk of texture memory, because skinning a car, that's a lot of surface and a lot of you know, texture space. And until we get a way to stream textures, kind of dynamically. I don't think we're going to see anything like that. But that said, I was looking at the car assets, and they all have basically the same skin, only just colored, and that's a big waste of texture space. So I'm hoping we could probably do something pretty easy and color the textures with paint the textures white on those cars and then just color them with a mask and vertex coloring or something like that, some programmer trick to color it like UMA does. And then we could take all that texture space that from the red, the blue, and the yellow car, and those would be wide open for brand new vehicles, which would be awesome. So yeah, I think we can, now that I'm thinking about it, we can leverage, we've had those cars since Alpha 1, I think. So I think we can leverage that texture space a little better and definitely get 3 new vehicles for the cost of 1 with a little effort. So Tomally, Immersion. Hey man, Mole, I'm loving the game. I see that you talk a lot about immersion and how it affects the game. I myself enjoy very much when I can get truly immersed in a game, book, and so on. One of the things that breaks this in 7 days to die is the stores. Do you plan on making different models for the stores? I'm not talking about the random bars, but having different brands for the same kind of shops, guns, tools, and food. It just feels really odd to have only one brand for each category on the whole world. Also, making them less noticeable would help a little since they stand out so much from the rest of the buildings. Thank you for your time. I don't know. It's kind of nice to be able to, I think we want some branding in the game, and I don't think it's any different than seeing a McDonald's in every city that you travel to. So, these are franchises in our fictitious world, and I like the branding of them, so I think it's going to stay. We could probably, as we add more stuff, maybe they won't stick out so much, and there's ways to make the generic POIs less generic as well that we talked about. So I think down the road it'll all make sense. Horst, could there be a stronger incentive to kill more Z's on Horde night, like increasingly good loot on Horde Z's or weaker and weaker zombies the more you kill? That way you would really be motivated to kill them instead of having 8 Z's break their legs on spikes and slowly walk in front of them all night. I think that you're going to have a lot of incentive to kill them in the coming future, because we've got some big changes, to coming. We've got all these new feral zombies that are going to come in the later game stages, and these guys are going to be hard to kill, fast moving. We're going to have radiated zombies, and those guys are going to regenerate health. So, if you don't have serious DPS, you're not even going to be able to kill one. And if you see a radiated feral, this guy, he's just going to be there, and he's going to be there haunting you. So if you don't kill him, he's just going to hang out at your fort and even be running at dawn. And I don't know how you're going to get past that. So if you don't kill these guys, they're going to kill you. So I think there's going to be an imminent life threat in the next, maybe not, hopefully Alpha 16, but as we get closer to the future, of how we're envisioning things to work, I think it's going to be pretty challenging. And right now there's some, serious lack of challenge with zombies not able to dig, and they can't really focus on specific blocks. They can't make their way to you on a 3rd story floor, and we know about this, and we're pushing these issues, and we're gonna try to. I think it's gonna be a whole new game, by this summer, and you'll have some motivation to kill them too. We've got legendary loot coming, and all kinds of good stuff. So let's just see how it shakes out. Russell, hey Joel, I've been playing 7 Days to Die since Alpha 4. Will there be a terrain smoothing tool or procedure? Placing dirt, destroyed stone, or other diamond-shaped blocks can result in terrain looking similar to early Alpha, and maybe a right-click on the shovel to average or flatten the surrounding blocks using Control or Alt to widen the affected area, or switch between averaging slope and flattening the ground. Maybe. I know you can affect the density of the block by attacking it. I know you can. It kind of lowers and raises as you, but maybe that shouldn't be completely part of the health, and we could give the host some further purpose and have it maybe do what you're talking about. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Orca, hello, Mad Mole. We have an awesome drawbridge. Any chance of a 2x2 block sized vertical lift, either ram or cable? Ram lift or 2 or 3 levels, cable lift. Yeah. We've talked about it. I've got designs and concepts for lifts and tracks, so it's just a matter of time before they get implemented and see the light of day. Let's see. Hey, you Mad Mole, love the game and appreciate the communication level you have with the community. Huge kudos. This is from Dystopian Coyote. Question: with the future implementation of water transport, would there be any water-related enemy? Inspiration got from Ichthyosaur. I believe that's a dolphin. No. Maybe they just call them that in Ark. I don't know. Anyway, yes, we're planning. Let me finish reading and then I'll answer. Less activity at night, so it gives incentive to travel at night. Maybe a loot zombie that spawns only at night, runs away when close, drops loot. Yeah, we're planning on improving the water and adding aquatic life and unlife. So I think you guys will like that when you see it. So, but more news on that later. That's just early discussions and stuff. But I think it'll be happening this year or next. I don't know. But anyway, yes, we're the first step is to get water flowing with acceptable performance, and so we've got some plans there. And once that's done, that'll pave the way for underwater decorations and underwater enemies, underwater base building, all kinds of good stuff. So hey Mad Mole, I am new to the PC but played a lot on the PS4, and I was wondering when 7 Days to Die is complete and out of alpha, what is your goal for the game's graphics and performance? Will it be similar to Fallout, or will it look pretty much the same as how it is now? It's going to look exactly how it looks now. We're not going to make any more big steps forward graphically. We've got distant POIs coming, and that's about the end of it. There's only so much we can do with the graphics. Fallout is a static game with static meshes, and they only allow building in small areas. And it's a completely different tech. I mean, you can't go in and you can't dig the terrain at all. You cannot, and all the things you do in 7 days come with a heavy price tag of visuals and performance. So being able to dig everywhere, being able to build anywhere, being able to destroy anything you want, that's only possible in a voxel engine. And there's just too many limitations, so don't expect. I mean, if you look at Alpha 1, our game looks incredible compared to Alpha 1. I mean, we've reached our goals, we've smashed our goals as far as visuals go. But will it ever look as good as a AAA non-voxel game? No, it won't. So don't get your hopes up too high. I mean, we've already, like, when we started this game, we were thinking it might look about as good as Quake 2. So I think we've smashed our goal, and because Quake 2 looks better than Minecraft. So that was our goal, is to look a little better than Minecraft, maybe about like Quake 2 or something. And we ended up looking so much better than that. So I think we're doing great, and but it's not going to get any better than that. So performance, we're definitely going to see some improvements. We've got a lot of optimizations to do. Chris and Alec Have been closely monitoring where all the CPU's going, and got all these results back. They sent some server providers a tool, so we've got all this information now, and we're already breaking that into executable tasks so we can optimize the performance a lot. There's just so much optimization we can do. It's ridiculous. So hopefully it'll run pretty nice on what an average PC is when we ship. I mean, I know that performance has been an issue, but hey, people say the same thing, about ARC and all that. But if you think about it, if we go gold sometime in 2000, late 2017, sometime in maybe even 18, that's when we're going to be done. The average computer in 2018, and with all the optimizations that we do, it ought to destroy the game's frame rate and be fine, So I don't have any issues on my rig that's now a year. I bought this rig to play Fallout 4, so November 11th, 2015. It's still a pretty beast rig, but by the time we ship the game, it's not so much going to be a beast. It's going to be probably, at the 70% of the scale at that time. So, or close to average, which is 50% or something. So I think we're going to be fine. But if you guys running an old potato from 2011 think that your game's going to suddenly be able to run everything on Ultra, get that out of your head. So, but early access is projecting a future release, so that's why it doesn't run good. And plus, it's not optimized. So there's tons of optimizations we can do. It will run better, but at the same time, if you're getting 30 or 20 FPS and you're thinking you're going to get 60, I doubt it, because what we'll do is we're going to take these optimizations and we're going to go from 8 zombies in a horde to 16 zombies per player, so, or something like that. And we're going to support more players. Righteous Ninja Waffle. New food? Nope, no new food. We're going to have new models for the existing food. Probably a respectable food upgrade in an upcoming alpha, but not alpha 16. We boozer me. Thank you, Mad Mole, for the wonderful game. Question: with the arrival of more special zombies and recent question of incentives to go out at night, how about we have special zombies that only appear at night with better special loots? Additionally, they could. We actually already have that. There's certain spawns that only happen at night. So, zombie bears, I believe, and ferals only spawn at night, at least in the. But I don't know. We're moving more and more towards game stage zombies. So, if you enter a harder area, or you're high game stage because you've leveled up a bunch, haven't died for a long time, you have a big party of people. We're making things harder on you guys. So that's how it already is, and we're extending that from just hordes to the POIs. So with the new sleepers, you're going to walk in and you're going to get game staged, leveled up zombies. So you're going to get better and better stuff like that. Nighttime, sure. I mean, we could just pump the game stage, and that would trigger the spawning of tougher guys. So I don't think that would be too hard to do. We're going to come up with a system that allows us to manipulate the game stage based on all kinds of different criteria, like what biome are you in? This biome might be plus 20 to game stage, or what some value that makes sense. I don't know what that value is. And then maybe this biome is not as hard, it only adds 10. Is it radiated? Let's add another 10 or 20 points. Is it nighttime? Add some points. So all kinds of criteria will go into that game stage number, and that could get you what you're after. So let's keep it short, guys. I'm not discriminating against anybody, but I don't want to see. I just don't have. I'm running out of time already. So let's keep it like this, as short as possible. so I can actually get to through all these questions in a reasonable amount of time and do more Q&As. So Dwall Lord, how are the sleeper zombies going to be spawned in prefabs? Through a block? I'm curious for if I create some prefabs in A16, I want to use sleepers. We'll reveal that information, along with the tools. So I don't, I can't really tell you how it's going to work. I kind of know how it's going to work, but until I use the tools myself and go through it, I don't really know. But we're going to have to do tutorials on it, and I don't know if modders are going to hack in all that, or we're going to release tools sometimes for people to do it, which is probably the better solution. But I wouldn't get your hopes up for making your own POIs with sleeper triggers in them right this minute. I'm not saying we won't have support for it, but I'm also saying it's our priority to get Alpha 16 out, and the second priority is for modded support of an unfinished game that's constantly changing. Jana 3921. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude, but honestly, well, you're putting the cart in front of the horse. We just have to get Alpha 16 out, and then it probably, I don't see any reason why we can't just include the edit mode and let you guys have it. So that's what I'm pushing for. And then it's just like whatever we have, you guys have, and there's no special work really involved, to allow that from modders to make tools. We'll just give you guys the editor, and boom, you guys can do everything we can, nearly. I mean, without outside of Unity. So I'm hoping that those tools that are written are contained in our edit mode, which I'm pretty sure they are and will be. And if that's the case, then it should just happen, and we could just enable that editor in the build. Jana 3921 question. I was wondering if there are any plans on adding some POIs to Dyersville. Couldn't some of the houses be removed and some of the other POIs? The townspeople would need a grocery store to buy food, a hardware store to fix the items, fix the leaky faucet, and a gas station to repair the fender bender. Probably, but I'm not sure if the original plot sizes were designed for that. And I'm not really. That town is not considered hard, so it might not have the best loot. I mean, there's a lot of. It's not really that big that it would have all that stuff, but it might. I don't know. There's a gas station up the road. There's actually a grocery store not all that far from there. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think we're planning on pumping a lot more time into Dyersville. I mean, we're really pushing the envelope on random gen with this build, and I think everybody who plays the game, Dyersville is kind of like, yeah, that starter first map for a noob, but man, after you've been around the block a while, you're going to load up random gen. So we're really pushing towards getting random gen where it needs to be. So why don't you just play random gen? Who cares about Navigating? I mean, that's only good for that first playthrough, and after that, everybody switches. That I know of. I mean, they play random gen because Navigating's, you don't. That's half the challenge, is not knowing where anything is. And after you play Navigating some hours, you kind of know where it's all at, and it's like, I'll just go get this, I'll go get that. I mean, you're at end game before you know it. So it's fun to have random gen, in my opinion, because it makes it feel new and challenging to have a new map to play in. That's my opinion. Big-headed Bob. My question is, will we see some sort of smoker or smokehouse? Would be awesome to make smoked meat and jerky. Like I said, big food update coming down the road. Nothing really substantial in Alpha 16 except some improved models and a couple new food items, possibly, or a drink. I'm not sure. Gaz got that done, but we're a bigger, more substantial change is coming, and at that point, we can revisit food one last time, or come up with a final framework that allows us to add more stuff as we go and all that. So, Cyrec beds. I'm super excited for painting. Now we can have some bases on PvP servers that both look good and are functional. Previously, you had to pick one or the other. Redwood might look great, but certainly wasn't defensible. I like to ask you about beds. Currently, king-size beds and old mattresses cost a decent amount, 20 and 10 springs respectively, but only function as single-use spawn points. That being, once you place a bed roll down, you can never reuse a king-size bed or old mattress as a spawn point without destroying them and placing down a new one. What do you think about these two beds, remembering who placed them and the owner being able to set that bed as their home while adjacent to it, or at least getting player place for? I think you can't pick it up with a wrench and put it back down. I just thought you could do that, but if not, yeah, I mean, we've talked about support for multiple beds. I mean, I think we pulled that out at one point because you know, people were using it as a teleport system, but you know, now that we have some consequences on death, why not? That's my idea. Let them have, you know, a number of beds, maybe not 100, but you could have up to 5 beds or something. I think that would be cool. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Let me know in the comments. Love your work, Fun Pimp. Just a quick couple questions here. Let's take a quick break first. Smile wants to know, can we have visible nicknames on online servers being seen from far if added to a party as a friend? This will really help see and identify your friendly teammate easier and reduce chances of shooting a friend. I've asked a lot of people, over 40 people, all of them said something like that would help a lot. Love your work. Maybe. I don't have a serious issue with that. Moander, foodstuffs. Hi there, and thank you to all the crew and the Fun Pimps for a brilliant game. Boiled canned water and a potato or corn or egg equals cooked venison. This would help at the start with the food until you have enough grit to rate a POI. I wonder if there could be a recipe to make for the use of the metal cans. Oh, I don't know. You know, I don't like things to. I don't like too many ways to do things. I mean, then people would want a variation of this for the cooked version. You know, I like strong, solid methods of doing stuff. And hey, if you want something, go out and get it and make it happen. But hey, I started and I get to do all this stuff without any work or effort. I don't know, so it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm on the fence about that. I think there's enough early game stuff. Get yourself a cook pot and get set up. They're not too hard to get, I don't think. So, or even the grill or whatever. But usually you can find a cooking pot. I have about 5 or 6 of them on the end of day one. If you're out scavenging a bit, and you can cook whatever most of the best stuff in the game already. So not a big deal. Hurricane Cat 89 wants to know if we can have 2 seats on the mini bike. I think the plan is we've got this big motorbike. Looks like a hog, almost kind of like Daryl's awesome bike he made on The Walking Dead, something like that. And that one will probably support 2 players, hopefully. I can't promise that because we haven't done it yet, but that's kind of the intention. So, mini bike should probably be a early game vehicle, and the later game vehicles should support multiple players, I hope. So we'll see how that all works out, though. Tranquitas. Animations. Hey, Mad Mole, I love your beard and the game too. Well, thank you. Can you show something about the animations that the team is working on, like that video that you showed of us, a woman running a little time ago? Yeah, anytime there's new stuff, I'm always showing it. So as soon as we get a little more new animation stuff in, I will be the first guy to show it to you. So Shine Blossom. Hi, Mad Mole. Have you thought about a flight for your life feature where someone can administer medicines to another player, and instead of dying when your health reaches 0, you can crawl somewhat? Yeah, we talked about that. I think it would be cool. You know, it's just a matter of priorities and time to implement a feature like that. How do we handle animations when you're crawling on the ground, and so on and so forth. But yeah, I mean, I'm all down for that. I think it's cool. It's just a matter of making the time for it, like everything. Creator, will UMA animals make it easy to add cosmetic variants? For example, black plus black texture equals black bear. Actually, you know, you can just tint it with a simple RGB command, like all UMA items are right now. So no texture involved, but the art is already kind of how we want it. So it's not really scalable too much, but someone could mod it out, make it white, and then tint it red, purple, blue, or whatever they wanted. So it's kind of possible, but you know, it turns out that UMA is kind of expensive to spawn. It works well for players, but I'm not sure how much we're going to use it for our common animals in the game, and we're definitely not doing it on the stag or snake or the rabbit. Right now, only the bear and wolf are using it. And we're not even sure we'll keep them using UMA. So they're using it currently. We've got it working, but you know, as it turns out, they create lag when they spawn, and it has to generate the UVs and bake the texture into a map, and then load that across clients, and it's just kind of pricey. We found out, and you know, it's not. We're not sure we want to spend the engineering effort making it optimized. You know, it's a lot of work. It's not even our code. I mean, we've added a lot of code to it, but it's still someone else's code. So you know, I'm not sure we'll ever be able to get it without a, you know. So it's easier just to make them non-UMA and be done with it, because then they run good and all that, and it probably wouldn't be too hard, you know, to add the coloring support and all that to non-UMA animals and get kind of what we want to do anyway. So I don't know. We're still messing around with it, so it's too early to tell, but I'll let you know. Snipes, land claim block misuse. I'm not even going to read what you have to say. All I'm going to say is big changes to the land claim are coming. Not sure when, but we're reinventing the land claim. So whatever issue you have will be addressed at that time. I got to move on. I'm running out of time, you guys. Feral to Behemoth. So I was thinking about your previous video outlining the glowing eyes while eating remains, etc. I think it would be cool to have a small random chance to have a zombie that goes feral this way to mutate into a behemoth. You know, a little guy mutating to a behemoth would take a lot of code, because say he's a crawler in a 1 meter space. How are we going to make room for something that big? We'd have to destroy a lot of blocks to make room for his growing body, and I don't know. It's just probably going to spawn in a safe area. I don't know, until we figure out how to get this giant guy into the world, and how does he path through a world made for 2 meter tall characters. I don't know how. I don't know. So those are a lot of unanswered questions. Phaser, hey mole man, a common base method is having no doors and blocking off the opening with frames when inside. Usually the entrance is on an upper level where you have to climb a couple of frames and cross a temporary bridge or jump a gap to get into our bases. How will the breadcrumb system react to this method? It's gonna know the path you take, and even if you kind of like fill that path with blocks, it's gonna say, hey, this block's in my way. I mean, and it's just gonna draw a line between the missing points probably, and he's gonna destroy those blocks that you filled in. So that's pretty much how that's going to work, as far as I know. I mean, until it's fully implemented, I can't say 100%, but that's the concept in theory. Will the zombies attack that one side below the door, or will the breadcrumb be overruled when the frames are removed? Yeah, I think they're just going to plow through anything. Like if you went through there, there's going to be a line or a path probably, and if the path is obstructed, they're probably going to break the obstructed block. So hopefully it works out how we think it is. All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for listening. Remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.